Hello everybody, and welcome to one more video on big units, and this time it's the Ottoman army, the rivals of course of the previous video of the Hungarian army for Mohacs. So this is the big, big. Up to now it's not that big, it needs more or less probably the double of the miniatures that you see here in order to be, exactly more or less the double of the Hungarian army that was that they were facing at Mohacs in 1526. In fact, the Hungarians, as I told you before, they decide to go on the offensive against a much more superior army. Also trying to take into its own advantage the fact that this huge army was arriving at the battlefield piecemeal. So this is by those days, of course, a relatively modern army, more modern than most of the European armies of the period. It was very well balanced in terms of cavalry, infantry, and artillery. The artillery, as I told you before, was 3 times bigger in numbers than the Hungarian, and I think also that the guns were larger also. So you have here an army with a very strong arm of cavalry. You see here the Romanian Sipahis with barded armored horses. On the other side of the line, you see the Anatolian Sipahis, which had less heavy equipment, both on the horse and men. There are also some Akinjis here, some light cavalry. In fact, they are Muslim cavalry painted as Ottoman, stressing the red and green, of course. And then you have here also some Turkoman archers with their famous caracol tactics. Finally, in terms of cavalry, you also have some port cavalry, elite armored cavalry, and kind of palace guards, but also used in battle when it was necessary, and generally going along with the sultans, which are here. I made 2 high-ranked officers. One of them can be, of course, Suleiman, if you want. And then I did a 3rd one at least one for the center, and 2 more for the right and left wing of the army. Now, infantry. As we are here, let's see these ones. These ones are also heavy infantry from the Capicolo Corps. Again, affiliated with of course, with the palace guards and the elite personal soldiers of the Sultan. Then the Italeri, some of the most famous infantry of this period. Very numerous infantry, and one of the first professional infantry soldiers in history, with a lot of special codes and tactics, and truly professional soldiers. Then you see here some the Yayalar here at the rear, and then at the front you see the Azab, again Muslim infantry painted as Turkish. And finally, the artillery. You see here some much heavier guns, as if you remember the ones from the Hungarians. So these ones are much heavier, as you can see. Now a little bit for the brands. Well, the Ottomans, someone who wants to make an Ottoman army is in fact nowadays especially is favored in terms of, if you want to make an Hungarian army. Hungarian army, as I told you, mostly are converted figures. These ones, I also have plenty of converted figures, but even so, there are some figures that you can paint straight from the box, as Zvezda and Lucky Toys and especially these 2 have very good Ottoman. And then there are also Red Box and Orion with their own Sipahis and things like that. So you can find more easily and StreletsR, of course. You can find more easily the Ottoman soldiers that you want. Also artillery in plastic already. As this army, as well as the Hungarian, started to be done some 10 years ago, it started to be done without still some of these brands that I told you that made more recent Ottomans. So, a little bit too late to get back because they're done. And again, plenty of conversions here. Let's start with the ones that are already made. For instance, the Capiculu infantry is from Lucky Toys, as well as the cavalry. The commanders are also Lucky Toys. Are they Lucky Toys? Yes, I think so. ALR also Lucky Toys. StreletsR for the Azab, together with the Akinji. The Akinji are also StreletsR. The Turkman archers are also StreletsR also. And then start my favorite part, because it came from some ideas that I had about how to make Sipahis. For instance, if you take this group here, let me show you this one. Let me place the others back. For instance, you can see here the first approach I had in terms of Sipahis. I used barded horses from the Italeri Mongols. Don't forget that the Mongols are affiliated with the Turks. I think I told you before, or wrote maybe in the blog, I don't know, that while visiting Turkey, which I go there quite often, and going to their museums, especially on the Istanbul Military Museum, you see a perfect connection with the Mongols. They are in fact in love with Genghis Khan and things like that, and they are somehow affiliated in terms of even of genetics with the Central Asian tribesmen. And you can even see big paintings of Mongols attacking the wall of China and things like that. So when you if you have Mongols from by Italeri, you can use them almost straight from the box to make Ottoman Sipahis, especially. So this is what I did. So horses from Italeri. The legs are also Italeri, if I'm not mistaken, and then the torsos of the figures are from Eschi, that kind of Saracen kind of guy with a sword and some nice helmet, and with a small round shield. That figure was used to the top part. Then the sword was discarded. A lance was implanted, drilled into the hands, and even the shields are the same of the foot figure by Eschi. So, and then a pennant, and they become quite a fanciful group. So you see here several of them. At least I think 3 of these stands. 1, 2, and 3. Exactly. Then, for instance, another way to make is to use directly, as in the other 3. Let's pick this one. In the other 3, you can see the figures almost being used as from the Mongol box directly. So you can still look at this one here. Try to focus. Okay, a little bit more sun. So this is the Mongol figure. Only the shield was new. Was cut from plastic art for some variety. Others, they have a little bit of milliput around the head, as you can see here, in order to stress their Muslim allegiance. Again, the lance. This is the commander is Zvezda. Very nice figure. And all the others suffer the same fate. You see, some of them don't have the turban, but others have the turban. But this is mostly figures almost directly from the Mongol box of Italeri. And then you can see them. You can see them in other stands also. Regarding the Anatolian Sipahis, you see the same. Some Zvezda figures also. but most of them are directly Mongols on Saracen horses. Everything uh, by Italeri. New Lands is also a few more heads with turbans and things like that, and they're made something different. For instance, a few more, even some Italeri heads came to these guys. It was also a relatively common headdress. Some of this guy here is first plan is Zvezda, and this one also. And then, in order to speed up procedure of painting, I for instance, this group here of two, as you see, have reins and weapons painted blue. This group of four have the same thing, but in green. This speeds up a little bit painting. Even it's not very accurate, of course. Then you can splash some different colors or a little bit around on new shields and so on some cloth, making some diversity, which is almost essential for the Sipahis. But there is a base of understanding in order to make relatively fast painting groups, fast painted groups. Sorry, I think it's better to say like that. I mean, and then finally, in terms of conversions, for instance, these ones are also heavily converted because I even if the Lucky Toys cavalry, they had maces and swords in their hands. I replaced all that with spears. And even these guys here on foot, they have a very nice plastic that can be with a little bit of heat can be changed, and I placed the shields protecting the body in most of them, and giving also some action to the hands in order to have different positions for the axes and for the swords. Another conversion was the artillery. When I wanted to make this artillery, the Ukrainian Russo war already started, so it was complicated to have access to the red box artillery and the Orion artillery, which is true Ottoman artillery. So I improvised a little bit, and I used the Revel 30 Years War artillery. So with baggier trousers, with milliput headdress, some cuts here and there. I mean, in fact, plenty of them, and turbans, as you can see, and they became Ottomans. Even some of them with relatively stranger headdress, as you can see in that white headdress. So they became Ottomans this way. The guns are effectively are the same from straight from the box. No big deal. But you can have, of course, if you lose some time and look carefully at the figures, you can use them like this. They are coming from the 30 Years War, being Swedish and German artillery and so forth. They can go to the Far East, as you can see, more or less unnoticed, more or less. So I think everything is shown. This is my Ottoman army. Of course, over there was that in the previous video you could see an Orthodox church. Now it was replaced by this mosque, of course, by this jami, as the Turkish call it. Also, everything is scratch built here. That thing probably recognized from a Christmas ball, from a Christmas tree ball. And everything is done. So I hope you have enjoyed, and see you next in another big unit. Bye bye, cheers, and Happy New Year again. I think I told you this before, but never too much to. And then as the of course, as the Miss World generally say, let's hope that the peace comes and war is over, and we can play with toys instead of real war. Bye bye, cheers.